My name's Richard Trick, this is my wife Dorothy. My dad Bill, he was a great man. He was a good father. He was very pragmatic and had a very good outlook on life. I did get upset on hearing the news when a neighbour had let herself into his house with a key and found him in bed. And I was shocked that he had gone so quickly.
The body was whisked away to the mortuary before we were even able to get there.
After initially getting over the suddenness of my dad's death, I was soon driving down to his house in Taunton, Somerset, and you got onto Pure Cremations, didn't you, to inform them that that my father had died. And then just a few questions that you posed them, you found to be very unhelpful, didn't you?
Well, I was really conscious that it might be really important for you to see your dad's body. And the more I phoned around, the more I've worked out that it was never going to be possible. And my conversations with Pure Cremations were very unhelpful. It's very transactional. And we found ourselves in a situation where, being really in distress because of a recent bereavement, having to work out how a son can say goodbye to his father. And that was very difficult. We talked quite a bit about funeral directors and the role of the funeral directors and what's possible. And it really opened my eyes about how families and relatives could be involved in getting the body ready, choosing the coffin, decorating the coffin, deciding what the ceremony is going to be like. So it really opened my eyes to what was possible for people. And I also became really aware of how that really can help with the grieving process. So I had this in mind. And when I spoke to Pure Cremation and I worked out how difficult it was going to be, well, at that moment it sounded impossible for my husband to see the body. I had a real sense of this is not right. There's something that needs to be done about it. There must be a different option. And I think it was only when I started ringing around some local funeral directors, and it was only one independent funeral director who said to me, well, actually, what have you thought about cancelling Pure Cremation? And this is what we could do for you. And, it would have been a private cremation, an unattended cremation, but we could still see the body in. And it was much cheaper. And I really noticed the language that they used. So they talked about, we now have Bill in our care, rather than talking about a body transfer, which is a very, very different language, and it's a very different approach. I could really tell the difference. Pure Cremation was very transactional, while this independent funeral director really saw, the person who died is still a person. I
would say that once I saw my father in his open casket, when I was able to go and view him at this local funeral parlour there in Taunton, I was grateful for her intervention and allowed me to, say goodbye to my father.
So it felt like a really nice compromise where we honoured his wishes, but we still had an opportunity to say goodbye in the way we wanted to say goodbye. I think I would have felt really bad and guilty for the rest of my life, and felt that it was wrong. It just wasn't right. We cannot live in a world where a son cannot say goodbye to their father, and an organisation with their procedures and processes takes precedent about human connection and human farewells.
If my wife hadn't gone ahead with her intervention and Pure Cremation had been allowed to carry on their duty of whisking my father away, I would probably be regretting it and talking about it to this very day and for a lot longer. I probably wished I would have thought differently.
I think looking back, we should have challenged your dad. We should have challenged Bill a little bit around this sort of assumption that it was the cheapest and the best way. We knew his intent was really good, but I don't think he would have ever thought about things like, who can see the body and when, and is that possible? How important is that? That wouldn't have necessarily been on their mind. The other thing for me would have been, I would say to families, don't just take their word for it. You can cancel the policy and you can find other ways of having your goodbyes in the way you want them to have. An organisation should not get in the way of that. We found the local funeral director independent funeral director was actually cheaper. I think I feel relieved that we had the funeral or the goodbye that we wanted to have. I think it made a very, very big difference to certainly how I feel about his death now.